What's up? We're back. It's another Friday, but it's been a few seconds for you, so we're back with Axis and Allies anniversary. Say what's up, Dad.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
I'm back.
So we were both kind of excited for this one since big round last time. Took a few minutes after the setup to plan, and now we're here at the end of round 3. So we'll tell you what happened. We'll go in order again. The Germans built a couple boats. I'm assuming to protect their northern coast so that Berlin is not sea invaded. And they reinforced. You didn't attack anywhere with Germany, did you?
Not that time.
Oh, you did sink a American transport in Sea Zone 12.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. I think it was just reinforcements other than that. Let's see here. The Russians
invaded a little bit.
Yep, the Russians actually built 2 tanks. Woo! And they built all men everywhere
the
else.
Germans actually held the Russians off. And was that Poland?
Yep.
Like
they attacked Poland with the 6-6 and then the artillery, but they defended. So the defenders finally won something. Then, of course, the 6 men came down and took the Italian guy in Bulgaria, Romania. He did take a guy with him, though, so that's good. Look at that.
Italians.
You know, when the Russians are buying technology,
it's bad for the Axis.
The Axis are not doing so great. They got 6 guys up there. The 2 guys retreated, and then 4 men moved up. Then the Soviets moved 2 guys into that Chinese territory there to help out. Moved up the 6 guys from there to there. These guys came to there. And yeah. So that is it. Next, the Japanese.
Yeah.
They withdrew a lot of guys. Their fighters here went over and landed on these carriers. Their navy came down here and to there. The destroyer and the transport from there came over to there. These guys kind of fell back. The tank blitzed forward and came back for an extra 1. Might as well. It's free. Doesn't even sacrifice a man. They also moved down to there. They did attack Wake Island with a plane, but the man shot it down, and the man died. But the bomber was saved.
Crazy bomber.
And that's pretty much it for them. Let's see. The British moved their fighter and to 14 and sank the Italian navy. 2 guys stayed there. These guys came back. The tank moved there, and the fighter landed there. Bombed the German factory. For 12, the Germans did shoot down one of the 3, but then the other 2 were so furious about it that they bombed the factory. Both of them bombed it for 6, so they got 12 damage on that bad boy. Can't build anything until they fix a little bit of it at least. Another thing, the Japanese, the Russians, and the British all have above $50 right now, so they're all making bank. The British took their tanks in India, blitzed forward into there.
The British are doing good, actually.
The British retook the Philippines. So that's awesome, because we got Manila back. That's 2 up for the Americans, 2 down for the Japanese, and that's also a national objective for the Americans. The destroyer moved here. They built a factory here in Australia.
Over here, wasn't it?
Yes, the transport and the Indian Ocean, or not the Indian Ocean, but the transport and the destroyer were both by Australia, and the factory was built in Australia, so now they can build units down there. The Chinese did, yes. Oh, let's see the Italians first. The Italians didn't do hardly anything. By their turn, their navy had been sunk. That guy in Bulgaria was killed, and they only had 3 units on the board: 2 infantry and a artillery there. They built 3 infantry. And then they moved the artillery there from the Balkans over. That was the entirety of the Italians' turn. They're not doing so hot. They're making $9 and no IPCs, because even though there's no access or no surface warships for the Allies in the Mediterranean, they don't control Libya or Morocco. The Chinese, they built 3 men. This guy came down. These guys split up there. And so that was a huge offensive. That was 6 down for the Japanese. That's only +1 man for the Chinese, believe it or not. But hey, we'll take damage to the Japanese. And they took Shanghai. So that's our first Axis, original Axis, Victory City under control of the Allies. And then they built their 3 men there. Oh, and the artillery moved from there back to Quingtao. On the Japanese turn. The American turn, the fighter came from Midway, came from Midway up to there, up to Western Canada, focus, to bomb. And 2 tanks came over. They crossed into Eastern Canada, up and then over to there. They did shoot down, the Japanese artillery did get a hit on a tank. The fighter landed there in Hawaii. The bomber from Wake Island bombed San Francisco. Man, that's painful. Americans bombing their own factory, but had to happen. And they bombed it for 2, so that's not going to do much good this turn, but maybe in a couple turns it'll add up. Who knows? And they landed Hawaii as well. 4 tanks and an artillery attacked the central United States because the Japanese pushed forward with the man, but they took the man and thankfully did not take any casualties in return. And then the other 2 tanks there came down to Panama on the non-combat and then over to Mexico to block the Japanese from getting the Panama Canal. Because as you see, we have a Japanese Navy waiting in the ranks to come over to the west. And that's pretty much it. No new technology. Anything you want to add, Dad?
It's still pretty hot out here. It's probably like 90 degrees.
Yep.
Upstairs is 128 degrees.
Yep. Up in the loft, up there, 130 degrees. That's like leave your kids in the car and they'll die temperature.
Yeah, so don't do that.
Always remember to get your kids out of the back of the car. You think this would be obvious, but unfortunately it's not.
And I don't know, I'm trying to hold on. The Germans and Italians aren't doing very well. Japan's trying to hang in there.
Yeah, Japan definitely is struggling on the coast.
But maybe if I can keep defending off the Russians a while, maybe something could turn around. You never know.
Yeah, because these guys aren't exactly in a position to invade right now because of the Japanese. The British don't have any transports, but they're bombing the hell out of you. And it's nothing. And honestly, there's almost nothing you can do about it.
Need the AA guns to hit.
Yeah.
Oh, can the fighters defend against bombing raids?
That I don't know. We'll have to check the rules. And we did find out that it's kind of a weird rule, but AA guns, you can have as many as you want in a territory, but no, you could have a stack of 6 there, but only 1 would shoot if if anything attacks. So I was going to build an AA gun for the Russians because that's another thing the Germans did. They bombed that factory for 4 damage up there. That was max.
Oh yeah, you replaced it.
And I replaced it, but that sucked. So I was going to build a second artillery or anti-aircraft gun, but only 1 can shoot, even if I had more than 1 there. So that was kind of a weird rule we learned about. And yeah, so I guess we'll see you guys after turn 4. What's up? The end of turn 4.
Is this 4 or is it 5?
This is 5. We're going into turn 5.
Okay.
Because we started at turn 3 and we've already played 2 rounds. Well, I guess we'll go over the usual procedure. So, Germans, they built a destroyer and a couple transports. They may be trying for another Sea Lion. So, we'll see. France is undefended. They moved their guys up to northwestern Europe. Did they attack anywhere?
The Germans?
Yep.
I don't think so.
Yeah. That's about it. They
defending,
built the navy, and that's about it. Poland's down to what, 3 guys? Yep. And that was it. The Russians, they did quite a bit. They got a lot of money. They retook that territory from the Japanese. They pushed into China even deeper. They built a factory. This gun from Caucasus moved up there. This gun got built. They built a factory in Ukraine. They're building tanks now. Actually, they didn't build those tanks. Those tanks came over from Russia. But they built those 2, 6 infantry, no ground units there. They did take the Balkans, but the Italians actually did a good job defending, and they only had 1 Russian guy left. And the Italians retook it. They did lose a guy, which was kind of good, I guess, but
They got bombed again.
they got bombed again for 4 damage again. and built 2 infantry. Czechoslovakia, Hungary fell to the Russians with a man. Bulgaria, Romania, they got 3 guys that moved in. We attacked Poland again with, what, like 6 guys from there and 4 guys in artillery. Got them down to 3, retreated there, and then these guys came up from Belarusia. Those guys came in from Moscow, and we built 6 more infantry. A lot of our money went into the factory. Oh, and the Russians got in a technology, advanced artillery. So all the allies have technology, and none of the Axis do. Oh, here's an update on the board. If you, I don't know if we showed the board or not, but the British are way up there. The Russians are pretty high, as well as the Japanese. The Germans and the Americans, they're struggling a bit, and the Italians, obviously, are not doing so hot. But they actually are only 1 IPC down from where they start. Now, on to the Japanese. The Japanese retook Manila.
Yeah.
Retook Manchuria. What else did they do? They attacked Hawaii. Lost 2 fighters there.
The Japanese did
push
knock
out.
out a
They
fighter,
retook Western Canada and Central United States on their turn. And that's about it, I guess. Did the Japanese do anything else? Just move around their boats other than that?
Stuff and
Yeah, they built 8 tanks and a fighter over there.
had some Navy go over that way.
Had some Navy go here. Yeah. The British in the factory there built a man and an artillery, moved their destroyer down to C-Zone 40. They're in trouble down here. There's no one defending these islands, and they're worth a lot, so that sucks. But they did retake Hong Kong with their 5 tanks. They got 3 tanks there, built 3 more tanks in India, trying to get a solid grasp on the Asian mainland, which they do have of right now. Oh, that's about it, I guess. Now we need to try and start dealing with the Japanese Navy. That's going to be a pain. These guys didn't move at all. Nothing really happened down here. They bombed the German factory for 8, which is actually what Dad fixed it for. And so they're back up to 12 damage. As, again, the Italians got bombed again. But we'll go over that again. They built 6 infantry and a bomber in the United Kingdom. Oh, and the Japanese moved some guys there. That's what I guess that's what you were talking about, but I kind of missed that. The Italians built 2 men, retook the Balkans, lost the guy doing it, but still pretty good for them. Battles in North America. The Americans took 2 tanks over and retook Western Canada. Moved a tank down to Mexico to block the tanks from blitzing through there and taking control of the Panama Canal. So we got to keep these guys back. We bombed the factory there for what, 5 damage? Our own factory for 5 damage. We got 4 tanks there. There were 2 men, but they got taken in the battle. And we moved some guys down here. We're gonna try and pick up these guys in Morocco, Algeria, and not sure what we're gonna do with them yet. Maybe send them up to France to take Paris. Maybe send them over to defend Washington. Maybe send them up to defend Ottawa. I don't know. We got 3 victory cities in immediate danger. Well, we got 2 in immediate danger and 1 within striking distance. But that would be a short-term thing, but maybe a short gain against the Germans. And that would be more long-term. So I don't know. I have to see the situation to see what I would do. Anything you want to add to the game, Dad?
I don't think so.
Maybe up a little higher.
It's been a fun game, though.
So you can see. That's kind of what it looks like now.
Been trying to hold off the Russians.
The Russians just got so many men.
Yeah.
And the Chinese are even pushing out.
Yeah.
There was a man in a tank in Manchuria that the Chinese battled. They had a fighter and 2 men. They killed them all, but they took 2 casualties, and so obviously they took the men because they don't want to lose their one and only fighter. So that stayed under Japanese control. And I think that's about it. So we'll go on to the next round, and we'll see you guys after turn 5. Alright, we're back after turn 5, headed into turn 6. So we're just going to update the video as normal. Dad's away from the table right now, but he'll be back in just a second. The Germans retook Czechoslovakia-Hungary with a bomber and a man and 2 artillery against the man. Didn't take any losses. And they moved their navy down there. And that's about it, actually. They built 4 men in Germany. They're damaged for, let's see here, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not sure. I think they did repair some damage, but I'm not totally sure. I don't remember. That happened. On the Russian turn, they took Poland from these 2 territories there. Bush. So that's what's left. They just reinforced Bulgaria, Romania from the Ukraine. The Ukraine factory pumped out 2 artillery. The 6th Infantry in Russia went to 2 Archangel and Belarusia and Eastern Ukraine. That way I can reinforce this area here with these guys. And also Dad couldn't sneak up with his transports to there. Obviously we got the British Navy kind of blocking them now, but I was not expecting to build that. So they reinforced Finland as well.
The Russians are like a power.
They built a tank in the artillery. They built a bomber, 3 tanks down in Caucasus, and a man. Yeah, so they're pumping out. Oh, did the Germans do anything besides take Czechoslovakia-Hungary? I don't think they did. And move their navy.
And the navy had some practice maneuvers.
Like I said, I don't know if they repaired damage or not, the Germans, but they got 5 on it now, which is half.
They did repair some.
They did repair some. The Japanese.
They did. The Italians shot down the American bomber, believe it or not.
Yep, the Italians. Let's see. The Japanese failed to take Western Canada. They did take Mexico. However, the Americans retook it, as you see. They also took Central United States and were able to hold it. The Americans didn't do so great. The bomber survived again,
and
right?
he survived
Against the fighter.
And he, like, the fighter
Missed.
with a 3, and the bomber defends with a 1.
And the fighter missed, and then the bomber hit.
With a 1. Which
So that was great.
That was a good
American
roll.
heroes there.
Central
They
US
took down
forward.
Borneo. So that was painful for the British. But the British is still making a lot of money.
They're starting to
So
edge
the
that
British and the
edge.
Russians are going to win this game, not the Americans. Americans are holding on for dear life right now. Now these guys are still here, waiting for the floodgates to open. Let's see here. The British, they built a bomber, bombed Germany for 5, and they lost a bomber. So they attacked with 3, but only got to bomb 2. Of course, they lost 1. That's probably because I built one, but that happened. I built, what was that? I built 4 destroyers, a bomber, and 2 cruisers. And I forgot Australia was only worth 2 and not 3. So that's why I have an extra destroyer up there that I wasn't planning to build. It kind of helps me, but, yeah. The fighter moved over from Transjordan over to Kwangtung, and remember, the British have long-range aircraft, so the fighters have 6, and the bombers have 8, as well as the Americans. There's 3 destroyers that got built in Calcutta. This tank moved over from Transjordan. The Russians continue to push over here. I forgot to mention that. And they moved some of the tanks to all their tanks to the coast. Built the navy down there. And so hopefully we can crack the Japanese Navy in half on this turn. And we've been pumping out turns today. Normally we're lucky to get 2 turns in a Friday, and we're about to go into 4th. No, have we done 3 turns?
I think we've done
We're about to
2.
go into 6.
Maybe this will be our 4th turn.
We're about to go into turn 6, I think, and we started on turn 3. So we've done 3, 4, 5. We've done 3, and we're about to go into 4th. So wow.
Looks like we do at least one more round.
We're pumping it out today, I'd say.
We got an earlier start today, though.
Yeah, do 2 maybe if it goes quick enough. Get this, because me and Dad are both having fun with this game. We're trying to pump it out. Normally Axis and Allies takes us months, and we've only been playing it for like 3 weeks. Of course, the British still control Norway. That hasn't changed since like the very beginning of the game. And that's about it.
Yeah.
The Americans retook Mexico, as you see, and that's all they did. The Americans are struggling. They're struggling. But that's about it.
The Chinese are doing good.
The Chinese are doing good. They're at the coast. They're just kind of amassing, preparing for any Japanese counterattacks. Tokyo is empty, so that could be an opportunity for us. And yeah, so now it's just time to crack the Japanese Navy and start taking our islands back.
Italians are trying to hang on now.
Italians are struggling as well. They moved up into France, 2 guys, and that's about it.
Yeah. Supporting the Germans.
The 2 guys from Italy came up there. Those guys stayed. And we're going into German's turn 6, and there's the money chart update. We shall see you guys at the end of turn 6.
Yeah.
Woo! Alright, what's up everyone?
It's an interesting game.
What is this, turn 6?
I think we just
I think it's
finished
turn
it, right?
6, yep, and we're going into turn 7. We're going to do the turn tonight.
You're gonna play a lot today. How many cities you got? Oh, you're close.
2, 4, 6, 8. The Allies have 11 cities.
I got 7.
The Axis have 7.
You need 15, right?
And we need 15 to win.
At the end of the round.
End of the round, so we're still going.
We had quite a bit happen that round.
Let's see here. Another big round. Look at that. The Germans took Ottawa. I brought the Americans up there, as you can see, or as you saw, and I completely did not see that coming. They came from France, took the guys out of northwestern Europe, and took Ottawa. So, and then North America's pretty much fallen. It's unfortunate. The Japanese are going to take the Panama Canal, and yeah, that's about it that happened for the Germans. The Russians, they attacked the Balkans, and that was the Italians decisively won. The Italians decisively won in the Balkans against the Russians. They killed like 4 Russian infantry and didn't take any losses.
That was a surprise.
So that they had to pull back there. The Germans took a beating. They had, what, 12 men and 2 artillery in Germany. The Russians attacked with a bunch of guys, all the guys from Poland and some tanks and the bomber even. And they knocked them down to 3. So they're hoping to take it this turn. But they didn't. They didn't take it last turn. About 3 more bombers tooling up for war against the Japanese. Finished liberating Russia Far East. And you got 2 guys there in Manchuria. That's about it. And they built some artillery, obviously, because they got that advanced artillery and stuff. So we're hoping to finish off the Italians and the Germans this turn.
These are Italians here, right?
Yep, those are Italians. Let's see, the Japanese kept pushing. They've taken both Mexico and Western Canada. They went down. They attacked the 2 cruisers outside of Australia, but they lost,
that
actually.
Was a pretty big
And they took New Guinea.
naval victory for the British.
And they're pushing back the Americans. The Americans are getting worse and worse by the minute. The Japanese also attacked this bomber with a man, and they lost.
Yeah, that bomber held
Defended
Hawaii.
against the man.
The bomber's now in the
So
US territory.
that was kind of awesome.
That bomber's been kicking butt.
Let's see here. The British built a big navy here. They built a battleship and a sub. They bombed the Germans and the Italians both. Didn't do much, but 1 damage on the Italians. The Germans, they did 10 damage. They wiped out what was left of the Japanese Navy. Built some transports there.
The Mexican Navy attacked the Japanese and
Built a transport and a couple guys there. Gonna start clearing out these Japanese islands.
Must have been the Mexican Navy.
Yep. The Americans, they had a cruiser and a destroyer go down through the Panama Canal while they still owned it and attack those 2. They should have whooped them, right? Nope. They got decimated.
So Jay
In
said
3 rounds, the The empty aircraft carrier and the submarine beat a cruiser and a destroyer that was attacking.
Yeah.
So that was the Mexican Navy. It had to be. Only they could do worse than the Italians. Only they could do worse than the Italians. But even though the Italians are doing kind of good, they're coming back now. They were looking
hanging in
very
there.
weak, but now they got. For the Italians, this is a lot of guys. All right. For the
Yeah.
Italians, this is a lot of guys. They got a man in artillery there, a couple men in artillery there that took
They
Czechoslovakia,
kind of look
Hungary
like
back.
the Russians, so I
Got
get them
two
confused
there.
every now and then.
Kinda. I honestly,
But
yeah.
I just have to look at 'em.
The camera makes the colors look a little brighter than they are.
But see, these are Italians here, right? These
Yeah.
four. Okay. Seem to be stronger
They
than
built
the
two
Germans.
more. My grand plan was to build a factory in Egypt. Maybe we'll do that and try and take Rome, but the Russians will probably beat us to it. This kind of threw a big giant monkey wrench in my machine and totally destroyed it.
What was that?
This here, taking Ottawa.
Oh.
I didn't see that at
German
all.
invasion.
That was a complete surprise. Otherwise, I would have brought the Americans
I
there,
didn't- I
but
didn't
nope.
think
These
I was
guys,
playing that for a
boop,
while.
boop. And that'd be like taking your car engine when popping the hood while it's running, and taking like a box of wrenches, like 20 wrenches or something, and just dumping it all in the engine at the same time. And, like totally destroys it and probably explodes and kills you at the same time. So that sucked. But maybe we will, maybe we won't. These two are empty and ripe for the tanking, as you see, but I just think the Russians are going to beat us to it. Even though I would like to see some American and British markers in Europe. I don't think it's going to happen. But who cares? We're not going to advance to the Cold War in this game like in real life, so
Yeah, it's definitely been
we're all on the
interesting.
same side here. The fighter's all the way in Midway now. In 2
lot of
turns,
Russian
it
bombers.
moved from Egypt all the way over to there.
Yeah.
So, thank you, long-range aircraft.
Remember that first
And,
beginning of the game? I remember like Germany invaded England the first round.
The first round,
We were
yeah.
semi-close.
And honestly,
Imagine if I would have won that battle or knocked India
Yeah.
out.
and the
Well,
Japanese
if I
did have a
could've
very
survived.
good chance to knock India out the turn that they
Yeah.
took that. And that was what, like turn 3
Yeah, that was last week. Yeah, turn 3, I think.
or turn 2?
And then that when
One of the
you're-
two. It was an early
the Germans
turn.
could have survived, and you knocked out the trans.
And then that was an important battle too against the American bombers and stuff.
That
This is, after we get all these videos uploaded and cropped together, it'll be interesting to see this, to rewatch this game. Rewatch this game and see how it progressed. Because
Yeah.
you guys are watching in the course of like a 30-minute video,
We've been playing
and
for like a couple
we've been
weeks.
playing this for like, yeah, like 3 weeks, I think. 3 weeks. So it's been a while. But hopefully we're trying to finish it up tonight. Get through round 7. We're at
It's
11.
interesting.
He's at 7. And we will see you guys. Oh, here's the money chart. Upside down, but whatever. We'll see you guys at the end of turn 7. Peace.
Peace.